previous time limit, not the second session time, right?
No, yeah, you only got 1 minute left on this question.
No, he had 2 minutes. He was at 1:57.
I love you, Randy.
You good to go?
Are you ready to respond, or do you need me
Sure,
to repeat the question?
sure, I will, I believe I remember
Okay.
the question.
Here we go.
So we called an audible, made a change of plans. My son and I, instead of going to our family reunion, we decided that, well, based on the information that I had about our family reunion, that our current chief was actually at my family reunion with one of our family members, and so I thought, well, if he's there, then nobody's at the Capitol to represent the tribe, or represent Seminole Nation. So I felt like it was imperative that we have someone to at least hear what's going on the ground and make an assessment or just gather information. Well, it turned out 4 hours later, the protest never materialized. And so what I had time to think about, given that issue, was that what my effort was going to be that day was we need to have a dialogue, because we really cannot control anyone. The only people that we can control is ourselves. Now, we have a body in the tribal council that represents the people of the nation. We have a chief and an assistant chief in the executive office that represents the nation. That is their duties. It's their solemn, sworn oath that they took. So the way I look at it is we need a dialogue. We need to sit, we need to all come to the table. Anybody who is in the capacity, anybody who is in leadership capacity, and I believe anybody who wants to see what's going on and have an input, you got to have it at your band level. But rather than make a big spectacle in the press or in public, this is something that needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed internally. It needs to be addressed wholeheartedly by our leaders. We need to come to the table and work this out. We need to have both sides of the issue addressing their concerns. That's the only way that we're going to get cooperation. That's the only way that we're going to make peace. You can't make peace whenever you just let a situation boil over, and that's what's been allowed to do here by not having a structured, courteous dialogue and figuring out who needs to bring what away from this situation in order for everyone to be satisfied, happy, and most importantly, served. So, thank you.
You're going to have to repeat the question again.
That's fine. Regarding Friedman's actions, and how do you plan on controlling this situation specifically, and what actions would you take if funding to the nation becomes jeopardized?
That real quick, I was one of the candidates that's already spoke in regards to that question earlier, and I don't know, do we want to start another round of questions? Have we all, because I answered it.
Has everyone answered that one?
Mhm.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
Just kidding.
No, you're fine.
Okay, we'll move on to the next question. Just omit that.
I'll just start here, I guess.
Or, you know,
This question is for assistant chief candidates. Education has been a sore spot for our tribe for many years. Opportunities are essential for the progress of our tribal members, young, middle-aged, and elder alike. Many of our tribal children have been honored academically by other entities for graduations or other awards, yet often do not receive recognition from their own tribe. If elected, do you have any plans to create additional funding to support education or higher education?
I agree wholeheartedly. We haven't done anything for our children. But a part of that is going back to money, funding. We don't have it. But one of the things that we do need to do, at least give them recognition. If we don't have nothing but a dinner down here for all graduating seniors, all those that receive academic awards through high school. Our judgment fund is the only money that we have right now. I'm telling you that's going to possibly help out anybody going to college. But if, we need to pat them on the back even when they go to college, if nothing else, but go to the college where they're graduating from it. I got one invitation. I went to East Central and went to a graduation down there. But other than that, if I didn't get a invitation from one of our native Seminoles, then I didn't know about it, so I didn't get to go. But the thing is, right now, like I said, we do need to, if nothing else, but give them a pat on the shoulder and tell them you did a good job. We'll do what we can to support you. That's not been happening in our past. At one time, we set aside enough money to have a dinner for them and give out awards to those who deserve them. Everybody got something. It wasn't much, but everybody got something. But those that were more deserving, like, salutatorians and valedictorians of the classes, our Native Americans are smart, very smart. And we need to encourage those young people to move forward and go on to college. And I'll stop there.
Thank you, Ed. This subject is something that is very close to my heart because currently I have a son who's a junior at Oklahoma Christian University studying sports wellness. And I have a daughter who is enrolled and will begin attending Oklahoma Christian University to study nursing. I have a 16-year-old daughter who will be entering her junior year in high school. And so having school-age kids, I know how much our encouragement means to them as their parents. Having been a school-age kid at one time, I remember how important it was for me to have encouragement from my parents, my siblings, and at the time from the tribe, from the Seminole Nation. Every one of the graduating members of my class that was a member of the Seminole Nation, I still have the group photo that we took with the chief. Came right up to the school, took a photo on the front steps of Seminole High School. The old one, not the new grocery store. But we were identified. We were proud of that moment. It was a different time in life for all of us, and it probably didn't have the same kind of impact on us then that it does now as parents, to realize, man, this is a big thing. This is huge to encourage your kids. It was a push in the right direction. It was encouragement that we needed. And so having school-age kids now, I see the importance of not only identifying and celebrating our students, we should also identify and celebrate our students' achievements in the classroom and any activities that they're involved in as well, because oftentimes we have some of the most gifted and talented scholars, artists, athletes, you name it. We could have the next Jim Thorpe coming up in this generation, and we might miss out on seeing them flourish as an athlete, as a student, because we weren't there to give them that little extra bit of encouragement that they may need. So that's a no-brainer for me, and I believe it should be a given that we would always try to lift up the next generation, because it's always the generation that comes next that should achieve a higher level than the generation that came before. As long as we're doing our job, and helping them get there, because we know the way. It's our job to show them, and so they won't care how much we know until they know how much we care. So, no.
Thank you, guys. This next question is for our principal chief candidates. Recently, the National Indian Gaming, NIGC, issued the nation a notice of violation, or NOV. Council has currently removed the SNGE board, and now the chief oversees. What are your plans to ensure compliance and revenue projections are reachable?
My plans for the casino are to bring in the experts. We have, from what I'm told before, there were offers to help us with our gaming casinos and the industry who have a thriving business in the gaming and casino industry. I would bring those in and help us to straighten everything out and do everything the right way the first time. Because the longer we don't enact and get the right people in, the longer that we'll continue to continue not performing as well as we should in the gaming industry and in the casino. There's a lot of room for growth, and like I said, we need the right people in the right places. We always have room for improvement. One of the other ideas is to diversify our businesses and not only rely on the gaming casinos for our income, but to diversify and grow our other businesses. Thank you.
In regards to the question, in regards to the NIGC and the ruling of the NOB against the nation or the gaming, real quick, the gaming was once had oversight by a board, SNGE board, and collectively a decision was made to remove the board and move gaming underneath the chief. And real quick, the leader of the nation is the leader of the nation for the governmental side and for other entities as well as the leader of the nation. Now, it's not our responsibility as the leaders to be able to conduct that business in that format in the best possible way. We have an economic development entity that we do have out there, and at one time, SINDOC and gaming were all combined under one umbrella. That, in my opinion, was not a bad format for the simple fact that you did have a board that had oversight and it wasn't directly under the chief and the leader of the nation in that realm, because there's a lot of responsibility that goes along with that. Now, in regards to our revenue generating, those revenues and its debt load, what you don't understand, there's many facets that's taken place in order for them to get to where they're at right now. And a lot of that had to do with rules and regulations, and they need to take a little bit more consideration in regards to our rules and regulations from our gaming agency. And if they would follow those, then that would help us alleviate a lot of our problems that we currently have right now, as where we sit with fines, NOVs, and the way we conduct our business with gaming and our relationship. Many times we're not unified and understand our direction or our purpose, and we need to do that. As the chief, it is currently underneath him, gaming. Well, it's not our responsibility to do that, but we need to have it brought back underneath an entity that is developed to be able to handle that, and to address those issues about bringing in people that have the knowledge and the care, and that they understand the importance of following rules, because we have the rules in place, we just haven't really followed them all that well throughout the years. And so we just need to address that. And in doing that, if we can cut back on our expenses, pay attention to those small details, that would help us on our revenues as far as our expenses. And that would eliminate some of our debt ratio a little bit quicker anyway, but we have a long road. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is for all of the candidates. We have been told quite often with past administrations that they plan to help with the elder, youth, and promise transparency in regards to administrative decisions. These are often general statements with no real plan as to how they will execute this help. Without making general statements, can you answer specifically, how do you plan on helping the elders and the youth, and what will you do to maintain this transparency? Also, what is your vision for economic development for the tribe? Don't ask that one? Okay. Let's remove that one then. I'm going to re-ask the question so you guys are clear. How do you plan on helping the elders, the youth, and what will you do to maintain transparency?
Currently, all our programs that the nation has are geared to the elderly and to the youth. They're not being utilized to their fullest. And at one time I said I was too young to be old because I couldn't get any elderly help. Now I'm too old to be young. I can't get no help there either. So, that's one of the things we've got to look at. We need to take the programs that we do have and utilize them to their fullest for the people, and not so much giving raises to employees, hiring extra employees because I've got a little money left. If that's the case, why can't we take that $30,000, $40,000 that we're giving to an employee that's not there and hasn't been there, and it's going to be carried over to next year? Why can't we take that and put it back into the program where it benefits our people, whether young or old? And so we've got like we've been saying, we've got a long road to hoe, and I hope we can get all the weeds out of it by the time this 4 years is over. But it won't. I know it won't, as much as we try. But it was my last rule.
How do you plan on helping the elders and youth, and what will you do to maintain transparency?
Helping the elders and youth and maintain transparency. From my experience, as a working woman, I was able to go out and to work a full day's work without worrying about my children, because at the place I was employed, there were childcare, there were all youth activities, and there were also elder activities. What we would do is we would set that in motion to where they all interacted. One of the ideas that I had was to create the programs for our people and the youth and our elders to interact. And while they're doing that, they speak the native language and learn our native culture. There are programs out there across the world and even in other tribes where they're incorporating the elder participation to help teach the youth our culture and our language. So if we can capture that aspect alone, there are programs out there to help us, and we need to know what kind of programs are out there that we can tap into. There are many programs out there that we need a good program writer or a good grant writer that we can glean a little here and a little there, and together all these little bits can make up a whole. And I want to make sure that everybody is there. I don't want to leave anybody out. My Seminole family, my nation, are my people. I'm here to look after my people. And that's one of the main things I know to help the working family, is to go to work and not worry about their children or their elderly. If we can find a program or even make a program, there are so many options out there. If the programs that are in place today are not working correctly, I have to look into it. And there are all, like I said, all different kind of programs out there that we can actually capture for our people to help us further our culture, our education for our language, and to capture our youth and their ideas and their resiliency on the future. They are our future. Like I said, we can, if we don't find one out there that fits the need, we can make one. I'm all about innovation, new ideas, and pushing the boundaries for our Seminole Nation, because we need to move forward. Like I said, there's something out there, and we can figure it out, and we can move forward and help everybody and capture infant to elderly and those in between. Along with that, we can maintain our language and our culture, our knowledge that we need to make sure that we don't lose. Thank you very much.
What can we do to help our elders and our youth, and be specific? That's what I'm taking away from this part of the question.
And maintain transparency.
And maintain transparency. I'll go with the first half of that question first. First, our elders are the reason that we're here. Our elders are the reason that we still have a language and a culture. If we're not taking care of them, we're not honoring them. And if there's anything that I will not abide by, is not showing proper honor to our elders. That's just the way I was raised. That's the way I'm raising my children. And the best way we can teach our kids that we have now coming up is leadership by example. So where to start? There's so many areas that could be improved on. My first thought is basic needs that are really life and death in some situations, because we have approximately 320 acres here at the mission. Okay, and if you look to the west and if you look to the east, there are trees that have been there and some have died. There's some have branches that have died that are just being left on the ground, left on the trunk. So whenever I think of our elders, I think of how cold some of their houses can be getting during the wintertime. Whenever we have these harsh winters, high winds in Oklahoma are a norm. And I know there are men and women in our tribe that are willing to cut firewood for our elders, who have that desire, because that is their gift. I mean, not everybody can do it, not everybody wants to do it. So whenever you can and you want to, just look at it as a gift. That's a gift that they want to give to our elders, and it's something that could actually help their families as well. So we all live under a roof, right? We all live in a house. Not all of us have a fireplace, but the ones who do, a lot of our tribal members who live in rural areas have wood-burning stoves. They have fireplaces. We have ceremonial grounds that could benefit from utilizing our natural resources that we have around us that aren't being used right now for anything. In fact, it could clear up some of the land around here. We could actually manicure it and have more room, utilize more of our land for more activities, give us more space, and quite frankly, just make it more appealing. We have to be good stewards of our resources. We have to be good stewards of our land. And right now, there's just so much that's not being utilized that could directly benefit our elders, and it can directly benefit our youth in the same way. So we can teach our youth a skill, and we can help our elders at the same time. That's just one thought. And trust me, I've got several more that I would love to share and I would love to implement for the betterment of our people. So,
Okay, in regards to the question, in regards to the elderly, I'm going to go along the lines with Wayne on his comment. There is a program that's out there that is established for our elders to be able to accommodate them. But it all goes back to several different system flaws that we have along the way. One is that we have trouble with finances. Those finances help create a stable environment for us to be able to function within our programs and to help support them, which we do not currently have in order to operate with that. All right, within those lines. Now, they have some funding available to them to be able to do small things, but they are not able to do very much for them. If we did have more finances and we use that as a priority, but there are so many other priorities as well. Not that the elders are not important. Don't get me wrong there, because they are. But there is just so many things that are system failures along the way that cost money, and they take money away from other programs in trying to be able to balance that out. And so we have to, at some point, address that and give it some funding so they'd be able to support our elders and to give them more opportunities to do more things and provide more things for them through that particular program. Youth is just the most amazing thing, because it's our future. They're what they come to the table. We want them to be educated. We want to give them an opportunity to be successful that way, so that they come back to the tribe and support the tribe moving forward as youth. Education is high on the list in order to do that. But this, real quick, I'm going to share this in regards to the youth because it's profound to me. It's the mission statement that we do not have, that we need to implement in our operations daily, is to create a foundation and an environment that will inspire and empower people for success. All right? Our youth are that. That's them in part of those particular words, to inspire and empower, because we need to give them that ability to be able to go out there and be successful. And we have to inspire them, but we need to provide that environment as well. Transparency is huge as well. We have all the capabilities of being transparent, but at this particular time, we do not use that as a vital tool. On the council floor, the chief gets up there, he has an opportunity to be transparent about all those different things that come in line to the tribe, but he does not elect to share that stuff. That stuff has got to change. And it can be handled through the general council floor as far as new business, any type of thing like that, other business, or any other opportunity that comes along during the day. He has an opportunity to share that information with the people through our websites, through our newspaper, But we can inform people of that, and that's how we become more transparent. Thank you.
Thank you. This next question is for our assistant chief candidates. This is kind of lengthy, so. Several of our tribal members would like to see more tribal members employed within the nation. Our nation does enjoy the option for tribal preference. Can you clarify what tribal preference means to our hiring process, and how will you ensure that Indian preference is exercised properly?
I believe that our HR department, our human resources department, that we now have in place, I believe that's something that absolutely should be ensured for our members, because whenever we have a job opening and we have a member, a tribal member that is qualified for that job, then that's something that there's no question that that tribal member should be given an opportunity to work for the tribe. I mean, there's to me, it's such a simple answer, and I don't mean to say it's a simple question, but there's no reason we shouldn't be if we have someone that's a tribal member who is qualified for the position. It would be troublesome to me to know that we overlooked a tribal member, or we stepped around a tribal member who could have had gainful employment with the tribe. So to me, it's an HR responsibility, it's a human resources responsibility. It is also, I believe, a responsibility of our leaders to ensure that that those guidelines are followed. And so, yes, I'm all for it. Now, did I miss a part of the question? Or did I answer the whole thing? I'm sorry.
It asks you to clarify tribal preference to the hiring process.
Oh, to clarify? Yeah, I don't think you can. Yeah, I mean, I think if they got, if they're a member of the tribe and they got a tribal ID, then the rest is just based on job requirements.
Like if they're a member of our tribe or someone else's tribe, I think that's what I was going with.
I got you. Now, we got to make sure that we follow the law so we don't get disqualified or fined for something else. But as far as the law will allow, if it is within our power to hire a tribal member, then by all means, absolutely.
Okay, that right there is, like Randy said, this is a no-brainer. We have a nation that we get all these grants for our Seminoles, and who better to know our Seminoles than our Seminoles? I would rather have a Seminole working there than a non-Seminole, but then we also got to go, according to that Indian preference law, we got to give them all the same. I felt it very discriminatory. I went to put in for a job application up here one time, to operate heavy equipment for this nation. And I had 5 years of experience running a dozer. They gave the job to a non-Indian who had 4 years of experience, but he had his own dozer. And I felt very discriminated against. And since that time, I look at it this way: we got to give jobs to our people first, other Native Americans next, and then those are non-Native Americans that follow that. That's just something that we've got to keep in mind. That, like I said earlier, those people that work up there need to understand. Without Seminole people, they wouldn't have jobs. So, but the thing is, we also need to instill that in our Seminole people. But we do have, if a person's not quite reaching the pedal, let's help them reach that pedal so we can. We have trained people in the past who made they made great employees, our Seminoles. And then for some reason or another, the administration or somebody came in and started bullying that person. They quit here and went to another nation and are doing better there than they did here. And I'll pat them on the back for doing that. But we do need to stress our Native American hiring first. And like we said, that's a no-brainer. What's the difference between a Seminole, a non-Seminole, and a non-Indian? You just think about it. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Our next question is out to our principal chief candidates. Seminole County seems to be experiencing a higher crime rate, and more of our tribal members, including our tribal youth, are succumbing to rising trend of drug abuse in our county. Our ASAP program is currently unable to perform certain services to our area due to having no director. It has been stated recently that there have been no qualified candidates to fill the vacancy. What is your plan to fill this position? Is there an alternative contract that can be established with our local programs so that our tribal members can receive the local service? Is there any revenue that can be used to assist with the cost for those of our tribal members that have had to resort to outside sources and the charges they incur?
In regards to the ASAP program, which is a very good program. It's a very needed program because unfortunately there is a much need for individuals to have that kind of service, and unfortunately at this particular time we do not have a director, and it's been that way for a little while. So in regards to addressing that, I think that would have to be a main concern of ours, is to address something that is of that magnitude, because it's definitely prevalent in our community and surrounding areas. To address if there's any other entities around that we could maybe use, do a subcontract or whatever, to work together to be able to have that type of leadership and that type of direct reference to them as far as assistance, I don't know, because in regards to their grants and all the stipulations that go on within that grant, it would have to be understood, you know, how that works and how that functions before we're able to make a real true decision on that. I just lost that part of that question.
You can disregard the revenue part.
Pardon me?
Disregard the revenue.
Okay.
Just your plan to fill the position, is there an alternative contract that can be established?
That, like I said, that alternative contract, I don't know that there is one, because I mean we'd have to look at their grants and look at if somebody was able to work with them to partner up, so to speak, and if that grant would allow that, would be the way that I would look at that and approach that. But we do need to get serious about filling that void, because that void is a necessary a need, because it is definitely prevalent in our community. Thank you.
What is your plan plan to fill this position, and is there an alternative contract that can be established with our local programs so that tribal members can receive the service?
Right. What is my idea to fill the vacancy?
What's your plan to fill the position?
Well, first of all, I don't know where they're putting the information out there. I don't know how it's being presented to everybody. I don't know, you know, there's a lot of things that go behind that. Where is it being shown? Where is it being offered? Is it a statewide? Is it available statewide? Is it nationwide that they're showing this vacancy that we need, that we have? I don't know what the specifics are, but if it's only statewide that they're advertising this position, I think that they should go further and go to another state and go nationwide, because there are always people out there who are willing to help. We just need to find the right person who is willing to take the job and work with us. I'm sure there's somebody qualified, if not in our Seminole Nation, then someplace else. We just need to diversify where we're looking. If that's also somebody who just graduated college, if they're qualified, we can give them a chance. Sometimes those are the best people to come in and start up being a director. There's a lot of variables in there, but I know that there's probably somebody out there we just haven't gotten the word out to, or whose ear we haven't touched. Like I said, I would expand it. I would expand it to other tribes and see if there's somebody there. Sometimes if you just put it in the right places, you'll find the people that need to be where they need to be. But as far as the program, I'd have to look at the current program and see how it's run. And just like I said on another program, if that program is not meeting the needs of our people, then there are other programs out there. Just like anything, not one item or one program is going to help everybody. And we can find a program, or we can tailor a program to meet the needs of our people. We are unique and we are different. We think differently. So sometimes the ideas for the program might stem from different programs incorporated into one. That's just to get get the ball rolling. Is we need to go in the right direction, and we need to see what the needs are, and then find something to match what we're looking for to help fulfill those needs that we have in our area, because our people need help, and we need to enable our people and help them to help themselves, to stand up and help their nation as well. Thank you.
We did have a couple more through Facebook, but we're going to finish our last two questions, and then we will dismiss.
This question's for all candidates. What will they do if they win to...
That's what we did.
Excuse me. What will you do if you win to include all Seminoles, not just the ones in Seminole County?
What will I do with?
What will you do if you win to include all Seminoles, not just ones in Seminole County?
What would I do if I went to?
I think they're
What
looking
will
at
you
the
do if they...
Well, he's wanting more elaboration.
Oh.
I think it's with the programs. All of our programs are geared to in-county. How will you, if elected, open it up to reach outside people that need help that are tribal members?
Okay, in regards to that question, it all stems. That is a good question, very much so, and it's been a long-standing question forever about how we're going to address people outside of county. The problem all in lies has to do with, Wayne hit on it at the beginning. It has to do with finances. It has to do with the capabilities of reaching out to some way to reach out and touch those individuals in that manner. We have a hard enough time taking care of in-house inside the county, much less reaching outside. And understand that it's important, but we have to get a systematic plan in place to be able to understand the fundamentals of taking money and saving money a little bit to operate on, so that we can diversify our financials a little bit instead of using these other scopes of directions and putting it for something that we can be used for them. It might not be very much, but there's a possibility of that, but it would take time. And it all stems back to finances is the main thing. So, thank you.
What would I do to include Seminoles outside the county? Well, currently I am a Seminole outside the county, and I have been Seminole outside the county since 3 days after I graduated from high school in 1990. I had to leave my family to go find work. That was my driving force behind leaving home. Didn't want to. But if I wanted to, as my parents put it, make something of myself, there was not the opportunity for me to do it here. And it all comes back to finances, all right? Whenever you have operations that every other nation, every other tribe in the state has. Whenever you have these gaming operations, whenever you have funding, and they've shown us that they can use it and prosper, we're showing the world that we aren't using it to prosper. Okay, so to me, that is the one of the most important points I should say that's one of the most important motivating factors for me and why I am sitting right here today, because we're not servicing our members outside of the Seminole area, because we can't even service the ones who are in the Seminole area. That has to change. That has to change. I won't have the authority to make those changes myself, but I can be a thorn in the side of the people who have that authority to make those changes, because it's been going on too long that our people as a whole have not been cared for by this government. Okay? We have the same playbook to go by as every tribe around for making revenue. Now, gaming just happens to be the coup de grace to all that. That is the linchpin. Right now, it may not always be, but right now it is our absolute biggest money-making possibility, and we can't even keep the carpet clean. Can't even change the air filters in our casinos. All right? You're supposed to be able to walk into a casino, drop $50, go home, and your wife never knew you were at the casino. Okay? Well, you walk into one of ours, you come out smelling like smoke, fish, and potato chips that's left over from 5 years ago. Okay? Now this is a sticking point for me, because we see tribes building up around us, and we're told that our casinos aren't making any money because of location. There's not a casino in the nation that's losing money. Wait a minute, there's 3, I guess they're ours. Okay? There is no good reason why we shouldn't be capitalizing on every penny that flows through that casino and putting it to work for us, putting it to work for our people, and putting it to work in our programs so that we can take care of our people. So I'm just, that's important. That's why it means so much to me that it should be done correctly. It should be done right. We got to follow the playbook. and quit getting penalized and set back 15 yards every time we do something that we know we're not supposed to do. Okay, we got to move that forward. It'll move everybody forward with it, and along the way, diversify so we can invest in businesses that are working. But a rising tide lifts all boats, not just boats in Seminole County, not just boats in Edmond, not just boats in Ada. It lifts all boats because we're all in the same boat. We all have the same membership card. Now my alarm's going off, telling me to stop. Sorry. And so it's important that we get our travel businesses and our big funder are the casinos. So, thank you. I'm going to keep talking because Jane's not coming up to get the microphone from me. Thanks for helping.
Left side of the question, can you repeat the question? I know, casinos. What was the question?
What will you do if you win to include all Seminoles that are not just in Seminole County, not just members in Seminole County?
All Seminoles, not just in, you're talking about the programs or you're talking about the information, because it can be two different things.
The programs, the people need help with
The
maybe a
programs.
utility bill or
Right.
whatever programs we have that we give to the in-county. What are you going to do to try to help the out-of-county as well?
Okay, first of all, like people have been saying up here, is finances. We've got a lot. Whoever becomes, chief and vice chief, we've got a lot on our hands. The finances are a main factor. We'd like to help everybody, but right now, the hands are tied. There's a lot of things that we could probably cut out that until you know the whole picture, you don't know what you're walking into. I liken it to buying a house sight unseen, and you walk in there and you don't know what needs to be fixed. If you buy a house and everything is good, then it's easy to flip. But if you buy a house that needs a lot of repairs, then you've got to address each issue individually. And you've got to do it the most economical way to actually make a profit. First of all, we need to find out what's coming in and what's going out in the finance portion. Then we need to look at each program individually that we have established already to see if we're not getting all of the grants or the assistance that we can. And if we have grant writers or contract writers, I think it's grant writers you put into the federal government, we can partake in a lot of different things. We need to have the right people out there to know what we're looking for our programs. And from there, we need to be able to streamline our programs with the least amount of people to be able to help the most amount of people. So running it with the least amount, that would help the most amount. And that would help with the finance portion of each program. From there, we can help our people locally. And while we're juggling that portion, we can diversify our investments through businesses. Businesses that I've heard through our members who've talked to me, they've got a lot of ideas. This is our nation. If you guys give me ideas, I'll look at them and I'll pass them to who needs to be passed to look to see if it's feasible to help our nation go forward. And from there, we grow our businesses. We grow our businesses, and once we start getting a positive income, then we can help not only our people in the area, but also out of the area. Whether you're in Oklahoma City, whether you're in Tulsa, or even if you're serving in the military and you're serving your country and you're serving your Seminole Nation in another country, we want to be able to help you as well. This is an all-inclusive tribe. We all need to benefit. We all need to feel included. And we have to take it one step at a time because we are, from what I understand, in the red. But the good thing is we can turn it around. And I have faith in our people, and I have faith that we can get there. We're not past the point where we cannot turn this around. If we work together and put all of our efforts for the greater good of our Seminole Nation, put our differences aside, and just do the right thing to go forward, I know we can get there as a Seminole Nation, and we can prosper, and we can far bypass all the other tribes, because I know we've got the brain power and the thoughts and the will to do it, because we are Seminole. Thank you.
Everybody hit on the right thing, finances. But they didn't explain why we can't help people outside the county with our programs. The programs, we've got approximately 30 programs that we can't help anybody outside the county because of the way the grant has to be written. The grant has to be written for people in county. They don't go outside of Seminole County because you go outside, you go south, the Chickasaw start screaming, you're using our people down there, and we can't even use their facilities many times because they're funding their own people. Now, the other thing is hit on was gaming. We got 3 facilities. We're landlocked to a little old spot here. Those of you that don't know, city of Seminole ain't got none. Sassacus probably got as much as Seminole does, as far as going to the gaming center. But then you go south, they got 11, the Chickasaws have 11 counties. You go east, the Creeks have 13 counties. You go north, the Sac and Fox have all these counties up there. The Potawatomis, they got city of Shawnee really in Oklahoma City because they're so close. We can't get nobody to come from Oklahoma City to come down here and play in our casino, and we got the same thing as they've got. That's the bottom line. There's no way that we're going to have to generate finances somewhere, somehow, to help our people outside of Seminole County. But until we assess those problems and assess how much money that we're going to add to spend, then it's impossible to sit here and answer this question correctly because it was hit on also. It's not well known, but it should be well known that when the administration, the new administration or the old administration, whoever goes back in there beginning Labor Day weekend in September is going to be starting with $1.5 million to $2 million deficit. That's not nothing. Nobody wants to talk about that.
That was our next question. But
we've already we're in $1.5 million to $2 million deficit, and somebody's going to have to sit down and figure out how we're going to get out of it or how we're going to solve that problem. But until that time, until any administration gets in there, they're not going to be able to solve that problem just right here, sitting here tonight. So I want to bring that to you.
last question.
You stole my thunder.
No, you didn't answer. Answer it again.
This is for all candidates. Recently, it has been stated that we are in a $1.5 million deficit. Budgeting is an ongoing issue due to using projections. What will you do to replace the budgeting process to ensure we are developing budgets within our means?
Our nation has always worked on projected budgets because we've never had the money to really get up ahead. And in other words, we can't say we've got $1 and we want to spend $1. We always got to project $2 and spend $3. But that needs to stop. I agree. If we haven't got it coming in, we need to stop and say, hey, we're going to have to cut this or we're going to have to cut there because we don't have the money. But it's not going to happen right now. And like I said, all of the people that go into this new administration are going in $1.5 million to $2 million deficit. We can't sit here tonight, none of us can sit here and say how we're going to solve that problem. And I'll be the first to tell you, I've been on that council many a year, and I still haven't been able to do it for many years. How we get out of the projected.
Will you develop a new budgeting process? You say we've
You
done it.
can't budget a new budgeting process because you don't have the money. you don't have a dollar to put on the table and say, we're gonna use that dollar and that dollar only. We have to say, gaming, are you going, how much you gonna put in? You gonna put in $1 or you gonna put in 50 cents? Send-off, are you gonna put in 50 cents? BCR, are you gonna put in 50 cents? And stay within that $1.50 that's been budgeted for us. There's no way, because there's too many, I'm sorry, but too many buddy stuff going on, and I don't like it. Be just straight up about it. Thank you. What are you gonna do about money?
Recently, it's been stated that we are in a $1.5 million deficit. Budgeting is an ongoing issue due to using projections. What will you do to replace this budgeting process to ensure we are developing budgets within our means?
Within our means, well, right now, you've already said we